They make nice boat anchors. They also smell like elf poop. Audiobahn. One of the most wild and most hated car audio companies I've ever seen. I'm talking about them because I scored this 115-pound monster for $10. True story, I'll go into that here in a little bit. I'll even take the sub apart and goss the motor, do a few other things. But first, let's dig into the history of Audiobahn. If you're not familiar, Audiobahn was a gigantic car audio company back in the day. They had it all. Fat surrounds, flames, bitches, more bitches.
Everybody hop in the Cadillac and out the back. I want you to bring it down.
Avenged Sevenfold.
Excellent.
They're also fucking funny. Run them in threes because really, who can say no to a threesome? My god. Alright, Audiobahn. Despite all their notoriety, they were pretty hated among car audio enthusiasts. The ones that considered themselves above beginners. No one wants your shitty bling bling. I bet they get loud but sound like a fart driving down the road. Type R's beat Audiobahn's face. I have some info on them. They sound like ass. They make nice boat anchors. Friends don't let friends like Audiobahn. They also smell like elf poop. ×2 to all of the above. Like, what would elf poop even smell like? I don't even know where to start with that. Maybe it's good? One can only guess. So, again, hated. But were they really that bad? They weren't really winning DB drag or mecha shows, but for the cost of them, they did alright. It was always rumored they had weak motors with very large gaps between the coil and the top plate, so I decided to check that for myself. I took apart one of the lowest models, AW120T 2-inch voice coil, and the Gauss reached about 6500. For reference, a 2-inch voice coil type R is around 7500, maybe 8000. So a little bit weak, but like, again, that was their lowest model. As far as the gap goes, it wasn't that huge, it was kinda tight. All in all, not bad. However, the glory of what Audiobahn car audio was came to an abrupt end when they got caught smuggling drugs and speakers. $1.3 billion worth, all in like speaker packaging. On the short I posted of this, some asshole said it wasn't Audiobahn, people hijacked their load, whatever. That's not true. The CEO, Abu Abdu, if I'm saying that right, was the ringleader, and he was indicted. I don't know, I can't find how much prison time he got, but still, he was the main dude. Now for the big boy, the giant aluminum cone beast. The AWT-18X. This is actually from the same line as a 34-inch sub they had. It actually had the same size motor. I really got this for $10. An older lady posted it, said, I don't know what it is, I just know I don't want it. I saw it and I was like, no, there's no way. Like, there's really no way, but there was a way. I mean, here it is. This is unique as it has a 5-inch voice coil, 10-inch spider, 2-inch wide, fat surround, and a one-piece aluminum cone. The specs are pretty unique too. 20 Hz resonant frequency, with an EBP totaling about 35. So, on paper, this sub's ideal scenario is basically a sealed box home theater. And in that scenario, it would do pretty good. Now, I got a great deal, but it wasn't that good. It's blown. Like, copper spaghetti blown. Luckily, this thing pretty much comes apart, so I was able to do that. There's bolts around the spider with the spokes coming up from the bottom of the motor. You take those out. I had to cut under the surround to get that up, and under that there's actually more bolts holding a surround ring on. It's not that hard to rebuild a subwoofer, but with this I was a little nervous, being it could be so proprietary, so unique, I may not be able to find a voice coil to fit it. Luckily, George at Lord of Bass happens to have one that will work. Maybe a little tight, but that's okay. I'm gonna try it anyways. Now, I did test the Gauss, and I almost hate to say the number, because it's low if you're looking at the normal Gauss of a 3-inch or 4-inch coil motor, but you have to understand, if you take one motor and machine that motor for a 2-inch voice coil or a 3-inch voice coil, it's gonna have different readings. As the voice coil gets bigger, that gap is larger and it's gonna be weaker. So this was around 3,500, and I don't know of another 5-inch voice coil motor that I've seen Gaussed and tested. So is that good, bad? I don't know. I did think it would be cool to just take it apart because it's easy to do, and then just get some Temu Neo slugs and build it up with that. It would be stronger. I don't know. Maybe it'd be pretty cool. All in all, I'm stoked. This is like my favorite sub I've ever had. It's just so unique, cool. It needs work, but that's okay. I love building things. I could even have the chrome redone because it's a little bit ugly. Not only is it Audiobahn, it's like the baddest Audiobahn sub they ever made. Oh, and by the way, if you were to buy some old Audiobahn stuff, you might want to take it apart and see if there's any contraband inside.